Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that we've got for you today is something breaking coming out of Israel. And wouldn't you know it, we've escalated from handing pistol permits out over a week-long period to 24 hours later, dishing out 10,000 assault rifles. This is a massive boon to enforce the idea of the Second Amendment, but also shows you the power of militia. Everything will be linked in the description box below, and I cannot wait to hear from you guys on this one because this is a really big part of why we believe and fight for what we fight in every single day. Now, of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. We are distributing freedom twice daily, and we'd love to have you along for the ride. All right, my brothers and sisters, so we are currently working on editing the Project Thor release that I promised from yesterday. This is going to be a big one we're going to hit tonight, but right now, I've got to show you how the threat in Israel to the Israelis is starting to make them believe and utilize a militia approach, like a Second Amendment almost. Check this out. And if you want to see even more details, Tim and I on Second Legacy broke down even more detail in a longer form. It's linked right down there if you want to see it. Now, Ben-Gvir says 10,000 assault rifles purchased for civilian security teams. And they not only did civilian with rifles, they also gave them helmets, guns, and body armor. Well, now why would they do that? Because remember, the left will tell you, and the gun control proponents will tell you, it's impossible for any foreign army or any type of emergency that you would need a weapon of war, right? Those are their lines, those are their words, until the impossible becomes reality. Listen to this example of what I'm telling you. Now you had Ukraine, now you have Israel. They're all reinforcing the idea of the Second Amendment. Again, I'm just going high level. Me and Tim break it down even further, but check this out. National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir announced on Tuesday that his ministry is purchasing 10,000 rifles to arm civilian security teams, specifically those in towns close to Israel's border around the country. Isn't it interesting how when all of these things start popping off, you got to start dishing out rifles to defend yourself through a militia approach? It's not the government putting in stationing troops. This is handing arms to the populace. This is the Second Amendment in action. This is why this is so massive. 48 hours ago, it was, we're going to give you pistols and we'll allow you to have 50 bullets to 100 bullets. Now it's, here's a rifle, here's a helmet, here's body armor. Start patrolling your own settlements. You guys seeing a parallel here? Let's keep going. This is just insanely obvious. This step comes after some civilian security teams, that's a militia, Tim and I hit it hard, they had no weapons to fight off Hamas terrorists during Saturday's devastating assault on southern Israel. This is the key. This is the most important piece. When the impossible became a reality, when the improbable became knocking, it all of a sudden was, we don't have the tools to do what we need to do when we have it. It's better to to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. This is why in the United States we have our Second Amendment. They are experiencing this firsthand. They are showcasing our point. They didn't have the tools they needed to defend themselves, to stop hostage taking, to stop terrorist acts because of the idea of a proposed safety that gun control provides. Make no mistake. That's what we're talking about. We now have two international incidents that now prove our point even further recently. Let's keep going. This is a big one. Listen to what they say as the government official. Quote, "We will turn the world upside down so that towns are protected. I have given instructions for massively arming the civilian security teams to provide solutions for towns and cities so as to leave no towns unprotected." Anybody? Second Amendment? Anything? This is the very reason that we have the Second Amendment. When an enemy, foreign or domestic, comes a-knocking, you have a standing army of the militia, which is the people, again reinforced here in the Israeli example and prior reinforced in the Ukrainian example. This is the entire point. No one will be left unprotected when evil comes knocking. It is a requirement that the left say, or the gun control say, evil does not exist. It's impossible. We are a civilized age, because that's how they lull you into a safe and false confidence. And then this happens. Listen to this. This is what actually happened, and this is one of the impetus for dishing out rifles. Members of such teams, the civilian security teams, told the Calculus newspaper on Sunday that they had engaged Hamas terrorists with just pistols, while the terrorists bore assault rifles, grenades, and anti-tank missiles. They were victims of the safety provided of civilian veneer of 2023. They were engaging extremely advanced forces with pistols. If that exact same thing were to happen in the United States, I guarantee you would have a standing army of militia members ready to pop off. That's the whole point. We are an armed populace. We are a militia. We have the right to keep and bear arms. For this perfect example, and the left would tell you that this, what we've seen now in two different international states, is impossible. It's not impossible. It happened 100 years ago in the 19th or the 20th century. It's happening in the 21st century. The core understanding of evil gonna evil, tyrant gonna tyrant, and freedom gonna freedom still exists. This is the key, and this is why paying attention to everything is so massive, because they are openly reinforcing the idea of the Second Amendment, and the left is mysteriously very quiet around this whole thing, aren't they? That's the point. I hope this landed the plane. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. And I can't wait for you guys to see Project Thor tonight.